I've got some troubling news about England's royal family.
It will no longer be possible for me to give so much of my time and energies to the charities and issues for which I care so deeply.
The royal family is no stranger to drama, and now another emotional event has shaken the palace. From Prince Harry stepping away from royal duties,
Winds of change are blowing through the House of Windsor. Prince Harry and the Duchess of Sussex say they are stepping away from their royal duties. A surprising decision the couple may have made without consulting anyone.
to King Charles's recent health scare, the monarchy has been surrounded by a lot of uncertainties. Just as things seemed to calm, the king revealed a final wish that left the royal family in a deep emotional state. What did he say? And why was it so moving? Join us as we uncover the touching truth behind King Charles's last request.
As my heir, William now assumes the Scottish titles which have meant so much to me. He succeeds me as Duke of Cornwall and takes on the responsibilities for the Duchy of Cornwall.
Operation Manai Bridge. It's no longer news that King Charles is facing a tough health battle, and those close to him, including his family members, are quietly preparing for the future. Behind the huge gates of Buckingham Palace, royal staff have been updating plans for the king's funeral, something that began the day after Queen Elizabeth II was buried. It may sound cold, but in the royal world, preparing for every possibility is seen as part of their duty. Charles has stayed mostly out of the spotlight since he revealed his cancer diagnosis in February 2024. While he has tried to stay strong in public, many insiders believe that the situation is more serious than people know. One longtime friend of the royal family revealed that the king is extremely unwell. However, all hands are on deck to ensure that he gets better, and he's also fighting really hard. But it's worse than they're letting on. The palace has kept details about his condition quiet, but those who are close to the situation say he's receiving the best care possible and is staying hopeful. Still, the silence from officials has left people wondering how much time he truly has. Behind the scenes, royal staff are regularly reviewing a thick document known as Operation Manai Bridge. It lays out the plan for King Charles's funeral in great detail.
Funeral plans for the current monarch, King Charles III, are already in place and being continuously updated, it seems.
The plan includes everything, from how the news would be shared to the order of military parades, speeches, and global security arrangements. It's a blueprint meant to make sure everything runs smoothly, just like Queen Elizabeth's funeral did in 2022. Officials have stressed that this kind of planning is normal. Every senior royal has a code-named funeral plan. Queen Elizabeth's was Operation London Bridge. Charles is named after the Manai suspension bridge in Wales, a nod to his years as Prince of Wales. Still, the fact that the document is being updated so often shows how real the concerns are. The military is deeply involved as well. Several elite regiments, the Royal Navy, the Air Force, and security forces are all part of this clandestine operation. The planning also includes missile defense and counter-terror measures, since nearly every major world leader would attend. Everything has to be perfect, and everything has to happen fast. There's no room for mistakes. Even though the world still sees Charles smiling at events, the reality behind palace walls is much more serious. His health is uncertain, and his time as king may be shorter than anyone had hoped. But through it all, Charles continues to carry out his duties, determined to leave the monarchy in a better place for his son, Prince William. Aware that his time may be limited, King Charles has quietly begun preparing for the future of the monarchy. Among these preparations is a personal final wish, which he recently shared during a private gathering. So, what is this last request? The sudden royal makeover. Since King Charles's major health scare, things have gotten more secretive around the palace. Quiet plans, secret meetings, and now, a royal makeover that no one saw coming. Something important happened recently at Windsor Castle. Something that could change the future of the royal family in a big way. For this urgent family gathering, Prince Harry showed up alone, without his wife, and people noticed right away. Her absence said a lot without a single word being spoken. It showed that things between the Sussexes and the rest of the family might still be tense. The mood at the castle was serious. There were more security guards than usual, making it clear this wasn't just a casual family gathering. Something big was about to be announced. Surprisingly, King Charles didn't make the announcement by himself. Instead, his sister, Princess Anne, known for being honest and direct, stood in front of the family and gave the news. That alone showed how serious the situation was. Her message? The monarchy is going to change, and quickly. King Charles has been dealing with health problems, and because of that, he's speeding up plans for the future. Instead of slowly handing over his duties to Prince William over the next few years, that timeline is being shortened to just a few months. The family was shocked. Prince William looked surprised, and even a little overwhelmed. Prince Harry stood to the side, watching closely. For a brief moment, the two brothers made eye contact. No words were needed. They both understood that something huge had just happened. Then came the arguments. Prince Edward, usually the calm one, had to step in as voices started to rise. Even Camilla, who normally stays quiet during family matters, spoke up. Everyone seemed unsure about how fast things were moving. But this wasn't a decision King Charles made on a whim. He's been thinking about it for a long time. The royal family has faced years of scandals, public criticism, and falling popularity. People, especially younger generations, are starting to question whether the monarchy still matters. Charles knows that if the monarchy is going to survive, it needs to change. So here's what's happening. Fewer royals will work full-time, more royal buildings will be open to the public, and money matters will be made clearer to everyone. These are big steps, things that would have been hard to imagine just a few years ago. This isn't just about William becoming king. It's about making the monarchy fit today's world. People care less about titles and more about what the royal family actually does for the country. When the meeting ended, no one spoke right away. The room was full of heavy silence. Everyone knew that this wasn't just another royal update. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one that could either save or reshape the royal family for good. Aside from the king's waning health, why is there a sudden need for change? The pressure of the past. King Charles didn't make his recent decision without thinking deeply. It was shaped by the long and sometimes painful history of the British royal family. In 1936, King Edward VIII gave up the throne so he could marry the woman he loved. That unexpected choice shook the monarchy and forced his brother, George VI, to step up before he was truly ready. Years later, George died young, and his daughter, Elizabeth, became queen when she was still very young herself. Charles grew up watching his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, put her country before her own happiness. He saw firsthand how her royal role demanded constant sacrifice. Their relationship wasn't always easy, and it taught him a difficult truth. Being monarch may look powerful from the outside, but it can be very lonely. His mother became more of a symbol than a person, always expected to smile, wave, and never complain. When Elizabeth passed away in 2022, the royal family lost its most dependable figure. Her long 70-year reign had kept many problems hidden from view. Soon after, Charles learned he had cancer. At first, he kept it private. But it reminded him that time might be shorter than he hoped. Suddenly, there was a sense of urgency. Charles had trained for decades to be king, but now there was a real chance his time on the throne could be limited. He didn't want Prince William to go through the same struggles he had faced. He knew how difficult it was to take over a system full of old problems. Charles had always been patient, waiting in the background. But now, the future of the monarchy feels uncertain. The crown wasn't just a symbol anymore, it was fragile. He was determined to protect it from falling apart, especially with public trust lower than ever and many people questioning the monarchy's place in modern life. Every event Charles attended had to be carefully planned around his health. He knew he couldn't delay important changes any longer. He also looked at other European royal families and the chaos that came when their leaders stepped down too suddenly. Charles didn't want that kind of instability for Britain. His choices weren't about making himself look good. They were about keeping the monarchy alive and respected. So, he took bold steps. He pushed for greater financial openness. He opened talks about returning historical items taken during the colonial period. And he even started plans to turn some royal buildings into homes for the public. Ideas that would have been unheard of under earlier kings or queens. For Charles, it was all about guiding the monarchy through change before time ran out. That's why he chose to hand over responsibility to people he believes can uphold the dignity and prestige of the British royal family. But how well is the plan working so far? Quietly taking the lead. Prince William and Princess Kate began stepping up behind the scenes. Without making a fuss or public announcement, they started taking on more responsibility, and people close to the palace noticed. Prince William now receives the famous red boxes from the government, just like his father. These boxes contain daily briefings and important papers, a strong sign that he's being prepared to lead. His presence at meetings with world leaders and the British Prime Minister is also increasing. It's clear that he's being trained carefully and steadily for the top role. Royal advisors say William is match fit, ready to take over if the time comes. He carries himself with quiet strength, and his leadership style is beginning to show through. While William's path to the crown becomes more visible, Princess Kate is also taking on a key role, though in her own calm and graceful way. She hasn't needed a title change or big announcement to prove her importance. She simply does the work, and she does it well. Kate has taken the lead on projects focused on children's development and mental health. She also welcomes visiting leaders and attends major public events with quiet confidence. In the past, Princess Diana struggled with royal life, and Meghan Markle eventually stepped away from it. But Kate has shown that she can manage the pressures of public life while staying true to herself. She's become someone that the public and even the royal family can count on. Though William may be the one to wear the crown, Kate is becoming the emotional heart of the modern monarchy. Her bond with King Charles has also grown stronger. Once distant and formal, their relationship is now warm and built on trust. Charles often asks for her opinion on family matters. This kind of closeness is rare within the royal household. Unlike many who have married into the family, Kate doesn't come from aristocracy. Her middle-class background, once looked down on by some royal insiders, now helps connect the monarchy to everyday people. Kate's strength comes from staying grounded. She doesn't chase attention. When Meghan Markle claimed that Kate made her cry before the royal wedding, Kate didn't respond publicly. Instead, she carried on with her duties, showing patience and dignity. Her calm, respectful nature has earned admiration inside and outside the palace. Many polls show her approval ratings even higher than William's. In private, she's also reshaping royal parenting. She and William work hard to give their children a normal childhood, including school drop-offs and outdoor play. Kate is raising the next generation of royals with care and humility. At King Charles's coronation, her presence wasn't just ceremonial, it was symbolic. She stood beside him and William, representing both continuity and the future. Kate's warmth, strength, and quiet wisdom are now central to the royal family. While the monarchy faces change, she brings comfort, balance, and steady leadership. Why didn't Meghan Markle receive the same warmth and support from the royal family that Kate has enjoyed? The royal outcast. Meghan was never accepted into the royal family from the beginning. Prince Harry and Meghan's wedding in May 2018 was a stunning event, watched by millions around the world. Though it was smaller than Prince William and Kate's royal celebration, it still carried all the magic and grandeur one would expect from a royal union. The couple looked radiant as they exchanged vows at St. George's Chapel in Windsor. The world saw a fairy tale, but behind the smiles and royal waves, quiet tensions had already started to build. At the time, Harry and Meghan were still active senior members of the royal family, and the full royal lineup came to support them. But according to royal biographer Ingrid Seward, not everyone inside the palace felt as joyful as they appeared. Queen Elizabeth II, who had always adored her grandchildren, was reportedly deeply troubled by Harry's behavior in the days leading up to and following the wedding. The Queen's cousin and close friend, Lady Elizabeth Anson, once confided that the Queen felt dismayed by what she saw as Harry's high-handed attitude. He seemed short-tempered, demanding, and difficult to deal with, far from the affectionate and respectful grandson she had known. This shift reportedly caused a crack in their once close bond, one that never fully healed. One moment of high tension was the now well-known tiara issue. Meghan had chosen to wear the Queen Mary Diamond Bandeau tiara for her big day. But when she wanted to try it on with her hairstylist ahead of the ceremony, royal rules and protocols got in the way. Angela Kelly, the Queen's trusted dresser and keeper of the royal jewels, didn't grant last-minute access to the tiara. Harry was furious. Sources say he raised his voice, saying, "What Meghan wants, Meghan gets." The Queen herself had to step in to calm the situation, and was reportedly not pleased with Harry's tone, especially toward her longtime staff. Another moment that raised royal eyebrows was Meghan's decision to wear a traditional white gown with a long veil, something typically worn by brides marrying for the first time. Since Meghan had already been married to film producer Trevor Engelson from 2011 to 2013, some felt the outfit didn't follow long-standing royal customs. While this wasn't a major scandal, it added to the growing sense that Meghan and Harry were not entirely aligned with palace traditions. At the time, none of these tensions were visible to the public. The wedding appeared beautiful and romantic, and the world cheered for the couple. But inside the palace walls, quiet frustration and disappointment had already taken root. For the Queen, who had spent her life dedicated to duty and tradition, it was the beginning of a painful chapter that would later unfold in full view of the world. Although the wedding appeared joyful on the surface, it revealed the early signs of a growing rift between Harry and the royal family. Since then, public opinion about the monarchy has become increasingly divided. So, what do people really think today? Present-day opinions. To many people today, the British monarchy feels like a tired institution that has lost its meaning. Once viewed as a symbol of honor and history, it now seems more like a leftover piece from a colonial past that no longer fits in a modern world. Some critics argue that the monarchy should have already been laid to rest with grace, rather than continuing in a form that feels increasingly out of touch. For decades, Queen Elizabeth II was seen as the steady hand guiding the firm, as the royal family is often called. But after her death, even that image has begun to fade. When the first anniversary of her passing came around, there was barely a ripple beyond the usual circle of royal supporters. A few flowers were placed outside Buckingham Palace, and Prince William and Kate posted a message online saying, "We all miss you." Prime Minister Rishi Sunak offered a formal statement praising the Queen's service and devotion. Yet for many people, these tributes felt hollow, more like routine performances than heartfelt expressions. The deeper truth is that Queen Elizabeth's reign, long as it was, left little behind in terms of lasting impact. Today, the British royal family stands at a crossroads. It still shines in photographs, wears sparkling jewels, and waves from balconies. But the deeper purpose behind all the pageantry is slipping away. What do you think about King Charles's efforts to modernize the royal family? Could this reshape the way people see the British monarchy? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing videos. Also, click on the next video on your screen. You will enjoy it.